I was around 15.
And then we became best friends.
It was around a year, when he was about 15 years old, he just chased it. He just always wanted to be my best friend.
Yeah.
And then one day I went, wait, there's treasure there.
Aw.
And I went, and then we just became best friends ever since. And I stopped trying to torment him as much.
And I have
I still do. If you watch Wake Up, I still torment him some.
RAS. He kept saying RAS.
This past
Revival
the ones that
Arizona.
are
There's
coming up.
nothing more important to me than Revival Arizona right now. And he kept going, hey, RAS is this week. I'm like, what's RAS? Why are you saying RAS?
Because Gene put RAS on the thing.
I know. But I forgive
But then
you.
I can
I'm
always
over it
tell
now.
when something bugs him, and I won't get off of it.
No, he won't.
I'll
He
just
won't leave
stay
alone.
on it for 5 episodes.
Yeah. February 23rd, everyone, RAS.
RAS.
So, good evening, you beautiful people, and you guys are the winners. Like, you're the stayers, you're the victors, you're the perseverers.
You're in the top 5%.
Yeah.
Come on, give yourselves
4
a hand
weeks
clap.
in a row.
You
That's incredible.
are. Here's the thing. So many people start the race,
It's true.
right? And we see this in classes all the time. So many people are fired up for week 1, right? And then kind of week 2, and then you find out around week 4 who really are the 5%ers, the 5% that are going to go the distance.
It's true. So well done. Give yourselves a hand
Yeah,
clap.
one more hand.
And then let's see if you can come back next week, because next week is Dr. Maureen Anderson, one of the founders of this church.
Mama.
She is teaching a groundbreaking message about family and functional families. And it's gonna do tremendous things to people's hearts and to people's families to come to this. It helps identify you, where your role is in the family, and things that you can identify about yourselves. This is going to be a very growing message full of victory in it. And she wrote a book on this. God gave her this book last year. And so she's going to teach 4 weeks from this book. If you've ever wanted to really understand the family dynamic and reprogram your family dynamic for legacy, you're going to want to start coming to this next Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m.
Because Mama reprogrammed. She really did. If you saw what my mom came from to what she brought us up in,
Yeah.
the night and day. And I will say this. Great, money. What does it mean to have all the money but to lose your family?
Oh,
It means
I know.
nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. I see some of these. There was some movie about some billionaire guy. He lost all of his kids, left nothing to nobody. I go, what does it matter to have $1 billion but not to have your family? To me, I would have my family and be broke before money ever mattered. And that's where you have your priorities straight. So I encourage you, come out next Wednesday night.
We're going to have
for
a
that.
great time tonight. We're going to have our leaders are here tonight to do group discussions, so we encourage you to make sure you don't leave early, but stay afterwards. Group discussions will start around 7:30. Also tonight, after Pastor Scott teaches, we're going to have a time of questions and answers so that you can ask your questions. We're going to run a microphone around here, but also, if you want and be more comfortable than talking to the microphone, we'll have a text number that you
Right.
can
I
text.
think they're going to throw the number up now, so you can already start texting
Yeah.
if you want.
So
At
be
some
think-
point, you'll see a phone number up there.
We'll do our best to answer the questions.
It's not a 1-800 line. It just means it's for texting, and so it'll
Yes.
come up and text. Because some people don't want to get up with the microphone, and some people do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, come on, get up on your feet.
Oh, wow. They don't think... Big hand clap, then just make me feel good.
It's time
Come on,
for
big hand clap.
Pastor
Yeah,
Scott Anderson. Give it
yeah.
up, give it up.
Sit down, sit down, sit down. How do you teach 15 years of building businesses in 30 minutes? I'm going to give you a lot of great stuff tonight. And if you want to hear Scotty's funny stories, come back on Sunday. Tonight, you're going to get Scotty, serious Scotty tonight, because we've got a lot of information that I want to cover in 30 minutes, and then I want to get to questions and answers for that. But what I did do is all the information is going to be in my Think Like a Businessaire book, which is out there on your way out. So if you're serious about getting a business, you're getting all of my mistakes and everything. In the book, it's going to talk about how to get a business to work for you, how to start with little or no money, how to increase and grow at the proper rate, what to sell, where to sell, name, online, web, marketing, what to do with time, mistakes, hiring, who to hire, when to fire, how to add new staff, and how to be legit. And like I said, here's the thing. After 25 businesses and had a gajillion of them go under, I've learned, and I don't want you to make the same mistakes I have. And it's not mistakes if you grow from it. It's not failure, as I said that, if you grow from it. But here's the thing that I want you to know. Deep down, we all know if you want to become financially free, it's going to take a business. We really do. Like, I was even thinking about, like, all the shows I grew up watching. Anytime you watched a show and there was somebody wealthy on there, they always owned a business, right? They're the ones that owned the general store in town. They owned the cattle, right? There was always business people, right? Yet, most people don't put the math together, and we think, if I could just get a better job, I'll become financially free. That's not that it works. Because if you think about it, at any business, so if right now, if you're an employee, who makes more money, the employees or the owner? Owner makes money, all right. Who has more freedom, the employees or the owner? Who has more potential in the future to make more money? The owner, right? You can go through all of the things. Who can take more time? Who can, right? Every answer of success always goes to the owner, right? Who's got job security? Owner's got a little more job security, right? If the business is going under, he's the last to go, right? And so, but some reason we don't connect the dots. And we just keep chasing money rather than going, if I started a business, that would bring in extra income, right? And that's for a lot of people that have done their budget, Jason's budget. It was just, I just need more income. If I want to get out of debt, I need more income. More income seems to be the answer. And so it is, to me, start a business, right? Start a business, whatever it is. We'll talk about tonight how to do it. We'll get to the questions and stuff and how to start, what to start, all the different aspects of the start of a business. But I highly encourage you out there to start a business. It's interesting is my grandfather and my father, without knowing it, were business people. They just didn't have the information. If they had the information that I'm giving you tonight, things would have been crazier, a lot crazier for my grandfather. And then my dad, who, became very, very financially blessed when he finally got the stuff I'm teaching tonight. But my childhood with my dad, he bought and sold cars, right? That's what he did. He didn't even know he had a business. And had he done what I'm talking about tonight, rather than buying and selling cars and living on the business money, eating his seed, he would have grown it into a dealership today, is what he would have done. And my grandfather did everything. He was the town, if you've ever seen the movies where a guy does everything, my grandfather was the plumber, he was the carpenter, he was the blacksmith. If you had a horse that needed shoes, he put horses on the shoes. He actually, though he's never been to any medical school, he was the vet in town. They bring sick animals to him, and he usually put them down. But that was his answer there. Right? He was the lumberjack, right? He was the woods guy. He was a cobbler. I don't know if you know a cobbler. I've never met a cobbler in my life other than my grandfather. He was a cobbler. He'd make all the shoes, put all new soles in shoes. He did all of these things for people, yet he did it and it's neat, but he didn't do it as a business. He was just doing it to help out people rather than turning it into a business that would go on for legacies. He died with about I think it was $12,000 in the bank, and this is what my grandfather spent all of his time doing. And so I want to teach you tonight how to start a business, how to get a business going. And one of the things that I need you to understand is that I'm not going to have you create a hobby. A hobby is something you do when you don't make any money. A lot of people start businesses and it becomes a hobby. There's a lot of fun things I want to do. Working for a business for a hobby is not one of them. The second thing that I don't want is I don't want you to create a job. Many people start a business, but they just create a job. Now, yes, there is work up front, but there has to come a time when the business works for you and I don't work for the business. It has to be, right? But many people, they'll start a business, they'll quit their job, they'll work their business 50, 60, 70 hours a week until one day they sell their business and retire a little bit. But you just created another job for yourself. I go into my knife and gun shop 3 hours a week. My business works for me. I don't work for it. It works for me. Yes, there was a tremendous amount of work that we talk about tonight up front, but then there has to come a transitioning period where that business begins to work for you. And once again, I don't want to work for my business. I want my business to work for me. And if I work smart, I set up things smart, I do and hire and do the things that I need to do, then the business will do that for me. I'm going to give you some points Tonight I'm going to give you 4 of the key things to do that. One of the questions that I have for you, how many people here would work for $500 an hour? Anybody out there? Hands up. Everybody, $500 an hour. What if you had if somebody offered you a position, and then you talked to everybody else that worked the position, and they said, yeah, that first year I made 0% commission, and I made 0 commission the second year. How many people would work for 0 commission? Anybody out there? Okay. What if I told you it was the same job? That's what people don't understand. It's the same job. A business pays you 0. It's what it starts out doing. It starts out don't get the grand things that, hey, you're going to start this business, and you're like, woo, and then all of a sudden you're just, you know what I'm saying? Right? That's not how a business works. And what people do is they get in the wrong expectation of the business, and they get going for a year and 2 years, and they give up. I wonder how many great businesses, million-dollar businesses, failed because people didn't understand that in business, the 4 points that I give you tonight, there's a season where I make 0. My knife company, I didn't get a paycheck for 3 years. Not a single dime. And then on the 3rd year, I started getting paid. And on the 4th year, I got really well paid. And on the 5th year, it got crazy. And this is the way that I need you to know, that you have to be willing to do the 0 so that you can get to the point that you're making $500, $1,000, whatever, an hour where you're making really good money. So we have to be willing. And I think I like that we're doing this the last week because, as I said earlier, you all are the 5%ers, right? You're the ones, you're like, I'm dedicated to this, I'm still coming, I'm still doing it. And so you're the ones who aren't going to give up after a year of just keep doing it and keep doing it. All right, 4 things. Remember these 4 things that I give you that you have to continue to do number 1 when you get to number 2. When I get to 3, I still got to do 2 and I got to do 1. And you can't skip from 1 and 2 and get to 3. That's what businesses do. They'll skip to 2. They'll try and skip to 4. And those businesses fail. Every business that tries to skip steps is not successful. So what we want to do is be people who do the steps, do them in order, because how many people know that anything I build has to have a firm foundation? Has to have a foundation. So what I do in the beginning is ultimately about what's going to produce in the end. So I do in the beginning what's going to produce over here. So if I don't have a good beginning, then I have a bad end. So I got to do these things in the right order. Number 1, you can write this down, acquire. Acquire. Number 1 is we got to acquire a business, acquire something. It's a season of acquiring. So and you're like, well, yeah, I want to start a business. Yes, I got to acquire. But there's a part of acquire that I want you to understand for those of you that don't have a business, that want to start a business. That and I'm going to talk about it as if a farm. If I decided I was going to be a farmer, right, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be a farmer. Well, I wouldn't quit my job right away. I would keep working my job, right, because I got to continue to have money to come in so that I can acquire. And I would have to get a loan. How many people know Jason talked about, right, good debt and bad debt? It's a good debt that I'm going to buy 20 acres of property. I got to buy the seed. I got to buy some equipment, some things to be a farmer. I got to acquire some things out there so that I can get my business going. So for you, starting a business, right? You can start a business for nothing, but if you want to start that would be a service industry. But a product, if you want a product, you go on Alibaba, you find some sort of product out there, and you're like, hey, I want to start that. So one of the things that my kids got right here, so I got these little chairs. Take them with you. These are pretty cool little chairs. Sit on them. Get a ball game or anything else. Go to RAS. Go to RAS, and and he's a cool product. He's a product. I think we got $6 in them. They sell on Amazon for about $25, right? Now, to get that, let's say you got to get $1,000. You're like, well, I don't have $1,000. I need a business to make $1,000. But you do have a credit card that has $1,000 on it. Now, if you buy those on your credit card, don't answer yet, good debt or bad debt? I guess that's the question that'll be on your mind. Is that good debt or bad debt? Well, let's say you even have high interest, but you have no other way to get money, and it's 20% interest. So $1,000 in 1 year is going to cost you $200. But you bought these, right, for $6 a piece, about $1,000 worth of them. And in 6 months, and I think you sell them for triple what you paid for them. Let's say you just sold them for double. So now I made $2,000. I have $2,000 of cash that came in, right? And in 6 months, my payments on that interest would have been $100, right? So I made $900. Was that good debt or bad debt? That's good debt. That's very good debt, right? If I can use the banks, what you find with wealthy people is they love to use the bank's money for an interest rate to make more money. Am I saying to go get in major debt? Don't go right out here and buy a $300,000 business, but instead, we have to start small. So the farmer has to take out a loan. You may have to use a credit card. And here's the problem that people do. They use the credit card to buy a television. How much money does a television make you in a given year? Making no money. How much do $1,000 of these things make for you? At worst case scenario for these, you and I both know, I think they were $6. You could sell those all day for $6 and get all of your money back. So that's what I look for in a business. I look for worst case. Worst case scenario, I probably could sell them for $9.99 and make $3 a piece, right? And still pay off my loan and maybe make $200, $300 on those things. So it's a good risk to the reward. And so there's nothing wrong now. If you have $1,000, then no need to take a loan out there for it. Right? But if you don't have $1,000, you don't have $500, but you do have a credit card. Jason got you the good credit, right? Use it to start your business. I got to acquire. So there comes a season when I am acquiring. I begin to acquire. I acquired my land. I acquire my seed. I acquire everything that I need to be able to build this business. Number 2 is grow. Number 2 is grow. And when I say grow, to grow, I don't eat my seed. So a farmer buys 20 acres, he harvests it all, right? He takes the seed all the crops and he sells it and he lives on it. Okay, well now you're limited to 20 acres. You'll never have more than 20 acres, right? Even if you just kept enough seed to be able to do your 20 acres, every year you're just living, right, on a small amount. You have to go through a season where you allow your business to grow. That's why I tell people, don't quit your job. Keep your job, paying your bills, but your business income in this next part simply goes back into the business, right? As we sell the kids want to start a business. Last year we started a pickleball company. So we sell pickleball rackets, pickleball paddles, and we sell out, right? We're out right now. Our number 1 seller, got more coming in the next few weeks. Great, right? We take a paycheck. No, we don't take a paycheck. How come we don't take a paycheck? Because all of that money goes back into the business. We're going to adding more paddles. We're innovating. We're getting more supplies. Right now, we're in the grow phase. It is tempting to go, well, what's the big deal? Why don't we take $500? Because I need all $500 to go back into the business. That's why you keep your job to pay your bills. This is paying my budget. This is allowing to grow. So the farmer would take his money from all that he made, and maybe he goes out and buys 40 acres. Here's the thing that you have to realize in business. Managing 20 acres, the time that it takes to do, and the difference between doing 40 acres is about 50% less of the effort that it takes to do the 20 acres. Right? So what took here, now I do double, and it's not double work, it's 150% now. Right? And as I double even more, now it's still probably 165. Right? As I get bigger, it doesn't take much more work, much more money, much more effort, but I'm getting much more profit in the return. So he buys another 20 acres, right? He goes through another crop season, and then maybe he gets to 80 acres, and then he gets to, so he's in a phase. It's very important that you're in this phase where your business, you're allowing it to grow. Don't eat your seed. My dad's problem was, we sold a car, and we would use the money, get Scotty some shoes, right? And I know we lived on it in a sense, but I think that because he was selling the cars, we simply raised our level of living on the car money that my dad had. But if my dad had said, no, I'm going to take the car money that we make each time, and I'm going to build up this business. And then he gets to doing, instead of 1 car a week, now he's got 2 cars. And then he builds it up, and now he's got 4 cars he's selling. And now he's got 10 cars that he's selling. Now he's got 10 cars selling. Now he's got to figure out, and he's got to grow his business to the next level and go, okay, I need to get a car lot because this isn't fitting in the front yard anymore, right? And so then I need to get a dealer's license. And so he would have gone through a season, and before long, rather than eating the seed on 1 car every week, we get to the place where now we're selling 20, 30, 40 cars. And the amount of harvest that comes in begins to be much worth it in our life. And so number 2, we have to make sure that we grow. Grow with it. Putting the money back into it. Number 3 employ, save, and reward. This is the third stage of business. So you'll get to the point where the farmer's like, all right, I got 80 acres. 80 acres is taking a lot of work. I can't do 80 acres. I can't do 100 acres, whatever he's at that point. So then now he begins to employ people. And so now I need to get employees who begin to help. So for the knife company, this is what we got to that season pretty quick, right? Now I could have taken a paycheck, but I do in the church, right? And so we begin, after the first year, we begin to employ people and get people as employees in there to be able to, so that I could expand and do more. And so you begin to employ people. You also begin to save money. What do I mean by save money? You're already saving money. No. When I say save, you get smart in your business and you're doing the same job for less money, right? So the farmer is able to harvest 100 acres for not a whole lot more than it took to do 40 acres. He also learned different techniques. He got wisdom as far as seed and fertilizer and when to do it and how to do it. And he got a better machinery. And so everything in your business that used to, and if you're starting buying paddles at $1,000, so you're buying those seats for $1,000, you're buying those seats. But now, all of a sudden, you're able to buy $5,000 worth. How many people know that your costs go almost half, right? So now what used to cost me $6 is costing me $3, which has dramatically increased my profit, and I could even possibly adjust the price a little bit so I sell more paddles. So everything begins in the season of employ. As I'm still growing, remember, everything that I do in this season, I'm still doing the ones before. So, because when businesses do is they get a cap, they're like, okay, I can live on that. Why cap yourself? Why get to the place where you're stagnant? Right? Every year, I don't want my knife company to do the same money we did last year. To me, that's a failure. We got to do more this year than we did last year. And when I say more, I mean more profit. Because there are years during COVID that we did less money, but I was more profitable because my God is an amazing God. I was more profitable. That's a better year, right? If you ever watched the... what was it? Hell's Kitchen guy. He'd go around to restaurants. Oh, actually, no, I'm thinking of the prophet. The prophet would go into these businesses, and the business is doing $5 million a year, but their costs and expenses are $4.9 million. You're like, well, that's not a good business, right? Anyone can make $5 million a year, but I got to become profitable. So what happens in this season, that I begin to save, I begin more profitable, I begin to employ, I got now people working for me, right? So my time is worth more than $15 an hour, right, at this point in the business, so I begin to hire people for 15, 16, 17, whatever that amount God puts on your heart, and you begin to hire people, get quality people. I believe in paying more. I've done paying less, and you get better, and you get, I hate to say better class, you get people that want to work harder oftentimes for more money. It has been my case, at least in my business. And so you begin to employ, you begin to do that. So this becomes the next stage, the next season that I'm in. And in this, they're now, as you know, maybe in the next year in the pickleball business with my kids, we'll begin to have what I call reward, where we begin to take a little bit of a paycheck. Just a little blessing. It's good to get paid a little bit. You're like, oh my God, all this work. And so there begins a little bit of reward coming, as long as you feel like I'm putting enough into the business to expand it. Because I don't want to stop here. So what happens is I begin to take out. Then we get to number 4. Number 4 is it begins to work for me. So now we get into the season now where the business begins to work for me. I'm still growing it, right? Remember, I do everything before. I'm still acquiring. I'm still cutting my costs. I'm still able to get stuff. I'm still expanding my business. I'll never want my business to get stagnant. So I'm still doing that. But now, the business now, I used to work 40 hours for it. Now I'm able to work 20 hours, able to get the employees and do things. And I'm getting everything faster and good. And I've moved down to 10 hours and 15 hours. And what I believe in a business is I always believe that the business is a partner. This is, once you get to stage 4, so Raven Crest is a partner of mine. So like today, we looked at our profits for today. I made money, my partner made the same amount of money, and the company made the same amount of money. So the company always gets 1/3 of the profits going back into it, is at least my system. You come up with your own system, but it seems to have been working very good, that we're always taking 33% and putting it back into the company. And so it allows, once again, for the company to continue to grow each and every week, each and every year, each and every decade. It allows it to grow. All right, so those are the 4 things. Whoops. All right, now I'm going to go into Another 4 things. Number 1, let me give you this. These are the questions for those who want to start a business. What to sell, right? So you got the 4 things to do, but you're like, all right, Pastor, what am I going to sell? How do I start a business? What do I sell in this business? And there's 2 different things that I found in life that you can sell: a product or a service. Product or a service. Product, like these chairs. Find a product, go to Alibaba. That's one of the great places to look around. Pickleball, that's where we found our pickleball paddles. Had to go through a bunch of companies and stuff until we found one that kind of was able to, good price and able to work with us and that we trusted, had good reviews, and then we began to order our pickleball paddles through them, through this company. It's been great. They've been amazing. God led us. Many people know that we always pray. Pray ahead. Let God kind of lead you to people. But anyway, so we decided to do a product. But some of you out there like a service. Now, usually a service, a lot of times, is a less expensive way to start a company, right? You can start a bug spraying company, right? Pest control company. Go down to Home Depot, get yourself one of those $20 little pumpers, get yourself some Raid, and you're pretty good to go. Like you got $80 in the business, and you're ready to go around and get some cards and get a website, which you can learn to build it on your own. Like you can get it going very inexpensive for it, right? You want to start a maid company, like cleaning houses company. Services you can start, I believe, a lot of times very inexpensive, if that's what God put on your heart. Products are going to cost some money because I have to buy the product, right? But once again, you can find and start a product company for $500, $250. I mean, you can start it. And remember this. In the acquire phase, I have to remember, as I told the kids, all right, I believe in, and if I haven't said this yet, I'm going to say it now. I believe in throwing a BB at things. And let me explain that. I explained to my kids, it's like I'm on a pirate ship. I got a cannon. I got 1 cannonball, right? I don't want to just fire that cannonball, right, and hit my target. So I want to shoot little cheap, inexpensive BBs and to make sure that I got a good aim at it, right? And then once I feel like I got a good aim, then we can kind of move to a cannon. A lot of people start a business and they throw a cannonball at it. And that means that they're like, well, if I order $5,000 worth of this, it's going to save me $5 a piece on it. Right, but now you bought 5,000 of them and you can't sell any of them. So you threw a cannonball at something that you could have said, let me buy it more expensively, but let me buy $1,000 of these. Right, let's just do that. That's what I did with the paddles. Right, hey, if you buy 500 paddles, we're going to give you this amazing price. Okay, great. What's the least amount of paddles I can order? Well, you can do 50. That's what I want. Yeah, but they're going to be this much. That's fine. That's fine. Because I know even at that much, I know that I can sell them at that much and get my money back out of it. So let's go with the minimal and make sure that what we think is our dream is something that is going to sell out on the market. So we ordered 50 and we sold them. And I'm like, okay, so these do sell, right? So now let's order. I think our last order was 350 paddles. So let's order 300, right? We ordered 100, and then those sold, right? Like I said, we sold out. So now I said, all right, let's do 3. I think we ordered 350 is what we're waiting for right now. We're waiting for Chinese New Year. All my companies, Chinese New Year's messes with me crazy. Okay, I grew up, maybe you'll get some frosting on this. I grew up where they're like, right, China works way harder than America, but now that I deal with them, I'm like, they get 4 weeks off every year. They shut the whole country down for a month. I go, maybe you lied to me, press. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's kind of cool that they actually take a full month out. So we're waiting for those to come in. So I believe in spend a little bit more up front on a product to make sure that it's something that'll sell. Throw a BB at it. Find out what the minimum amount is. I know it's more, but once again, this is the number one, right? I got to acquire. So I got to get the business going, make sure that I get a product that'll sell. I have bought products that didn't sell, and I have thrown cannonballs at things, and it was not great, right? So once again, these are mistakes I have made that you can learn off of. So I learned over the years to remind myself, throw a BB at it, make sure that it sells, and I think our next order, good chance we'll order 500 paddles. I don't know, right? Because once again, the price continues to go down as we get into season 2, where I begin to get into the season of begin to save money, do things cheaper. All right, so number 1 is, what do I sell? Do I do a product or a service? You also can, if you have money, you can buy pre-made businesses. I'll just tell you, you can get out there. I forgot the website, but I'm sure if you Google it, you find out. You can buy a franchise. Right? Well, yeah, I don't have $500,000. No, I've seen them. Me and my partner were kind of thinking about franchising. We decided not to. But you can pick up a franchise. I think there's a pool cleaning company. You get all of their clients and everything else. Do your due diligence with it. I think it was like 30, 40 grand, right? So that's something that, I'm not saying it's a good idea, bad idea. I'm just saying that you can buy a pre-made business and grow it from there. Number one is what to sell. Number two is who am I selling to? Who? What does that matter? I will sell to anyone. Kinda, but you got to kind of pick your target market. And I like to put it in these categories. You're selling a Ferrari, you're selling a Jeep, or you're selling a Kia. A Ferrari, a Jeep, or a Kia. Right? How many people know that, right? Ferrari people, it's way different what their expectations are for the product, right? Now you have your Jeep people, they're kind of in the middle, right? I want something rugged, something cool. And then you do have your Kia people. Kia are amazing people. They're great people to sell. Like, all the people are great. It's just different products that you have, right? So, like Yeti, which, me and the Yeti owners, when they first got started, we all got started at Knife and Yeti at the same time. If you've heard of Yeti Cooler, I was one of the first people to have a Yeti Cooler. They traded us Yeti Coolers for knives. They're like, I like your knives. I'm like, I like your coolers. So we traded. It was kind of cool. The Yeti Cooler, how many people know that's like a Ferrari? At least in my mind, that's a Ferrari cooler. Because I would never pay $400 for a cooler. I guess I'm a Kia guy. I guess you guys didn't know that, but I am a Kia. I'm like, well, it keeps it just as cold as the $19 one. I don't know what we're doing here. But it's nicer. All the parts of it, right? So the parts of the Yeti, it's sexier, it's sleeker, it's more built, like amazing. Like it's just like but my cooler does the job. I'm like, fine. So I don't know what you are. I'm a Kia guy. So you have to decide, are you going for Kia? Am I going for Jeep? Or am I going Ferrari? And that's fine. All of them are great. All of them make great businesses. But you have to decide who you're going to go after. Number three is why. Why should they buy your product? Because you want to make sure that your product stands out. There has to be a why. Don't be the same as anybody else. Why do you get one of my knives? Well, our why became our lifetime, no questions asked warranty. It's what we built our company on. Any reason. Actually, I gave a guy last week a knife. He went, hey, your warranty doesn't cover this, but I'm a fireman and I dropped my knife in a fire. He goes, I go, yeah, usually does it, but I'm going to give you a free knife. Well, who does that? I do that. Because, as I talk about in the book, that's marketing money. Because that fireman is going to tell 10 other firemen how amazing our company is. And there's a great chance I'm going to sell a bunch of knives based on one act of love and one act of kindness. So, why? What is your why? What makes you stand out as a company? Number four, how much do you charge? That's a big one. Once again, that goes if you're a Ferrari, a Jeep, or a Kia. Ferrari, Jeep, or Kia. What is it? Do you sell shoes for $19.99? Do you sell shoes for $79.99? Or you sell shoes for $800? Where are you going to be? Determined by who you're trying to sell, who's your target market. And Jason laughs at this the other day when I told him, I show him, you come to my house, one of my pride and joys of my house is my trash can. I love my trash can. Love everything about it. It's the greatest trash can ever made in the history of man. No, it really is. We went on vacation, stayed at a house, and they had this Simply Human trash can in it. And we used it, and I went, okay, it's been perfected. Jesus made this trash can. He was a carpenter, but he also made a trash. Like, this thing is the greatest trash can ever. Every part about it was perfect. I love everything about it, right? And so we got it, I bought it, and I'm in love with my trash can. Well, all they did was they took a product, and they made it great. Something that's already, and I'm adding this in, this is extra stuff for you. They took something that's already around. Yeti did the same thing. Cooler's been around forever. Yeti just said, let's make a better cooler, right? This Simply Human said, let's make the best trash can. What's everything that annoys you about the trash can? Well, the trash bags don't fit right. You have to tie it around. No. Here's what we'll do. Our trash bags will fit exactly perfect to them. Yeah, okay, but I need a trash bag. I could go over the counter, go get a trash bag, come back and put it in the thing. No, they said, no, when you take the trash out, there's a little place in there, and you just pull the trash bag out, and it just fits perfectly in there. And then it goes down, and the lid goes, and everything functions, all high-quality stuff. It's the last trash can you ever buy. I love you. I do. I love everything about him. He's perfect trash can. So they just took something that's out, and they made it better. How do you take the idea that God gave you, and how do you make it better? All right, so that's your price. You got to figure out your price. It's in the book how to do that because I want to get to questions and answers. But I think one of the biggest parts of business, and I'll leave you with this, as you create your business, or if you do have a business right now, is to make sure that you always give more than you get. It's a biblical principle that businesses make the mistake of trying to get more from the client or get the same amount. Those businesses fail in one way or another, right? So you give me $1, I give you something that's worth exactly $1. It's an even exchange. Those businesses don't last. What you have to do is create a business that you give me $1 and I give you something worth $5. You're like, well, oh, yeah, right? That's a great business. Blockbuster, right? I'll give you $4. You let me rent a movie, which seems outrageous, but it's fine because I have nothing else to do, right? And then if I don't rewind it, you were going to charge me $1, I think, in the day. And then you found out how angry we got. And then if it was late, right? I don't know about you. There was times I had $60 late fees on the stupid thing, right? It was unreasonable. Everything about them was unreasonable. They never gave me more than I paid for. Then Netflix came out. And Netflix said, keep a movie as long as you want. $7.95 a month. And you can have 5 of them. I went, are you kidding me? How do you even make money with that? This is an incredible deal. And then they said, you know what, now we're online. You can have all the movies and everything that you want just at your fingertips. And I think it started at $7.95. I'm blown away. I don't even know what to do because what I do know is Cox and Dish charged me $100 a month, right? And you're giving me all of this for $7.95? They created a business model where I give you more than you give me. So I give you in my knife company, I give you a knife, but it's the last knife you have to buy for your life. It doesn't break for any reason, it gets scratched. You don't like the paint job on it, you want to turn it in, I'll give you a brand new knife. I'm giving you something incredible that you can have for the rest of your life. I'll sharpen it for free, I'll do everything for free. I've given you more than you're giving me. How do you create your business in mind that your customer always walks away? Because you have to, I'll close with this. Your customer will talk about you, or they'll say nothing at all. You choose what they say. If you give them dollar for dollar, like you've done that where you bought something that was worth $1, you never bragged about it to anybody. Never told a single soul. Now, when you felt like you got ripped off, you'll tell everybody in the world about what bad service you got and how horrible, right, they were. You'll tell everybody about that. So that's horrible marketing for a business. But if you ever got something super cool and amazing, like my trash can, and you let the whole world know how amazing it is and awesome it is because you felt like you got more than you paid for. You got a landscaper who doesn't nickel and dime you, everything goes wrong, right? He checks your water every week, and then somebody around you goes, hey, I need a landscaper. You're like, oh, my guy's the money. My guy's amazing. Let me tell you about my guy. So those little things that he did for the last 6 months for you caused you, what's the best marketing in any business? People. People's the best. I don't care, right? You're going to have, I talk about that in the book, right? People spend $10,000, $50,000 on marketing money, not realizing that nobody buys anything off of looking at a silly picture on a magazine. I've never done that. Never gone, oh my God, let me get that, right? I've never done that. But what I have done is heard somebody say, right? Hey, you got to try out this Mexican food restaurant. It's incredible. Really? Okay, what is it? Tell me about that, right? Or somebody will say, yeah, don't go there. The service is horrible. Horrible service. Don't buy that. It's bad, right? So you choose what your customers say. If you'll give them more than they pay for, you give them incredible service. If you'll do the Bible, I call it the Bible, if you'll love them, make them feel loved and appreciated and valued, you have now employed somebody for absolutely free. They'll let the world know about your product, about your service. My knife company is built, I don't think I spend any money on marketing other than the knives that I give away and the warranty that I have. That is all the marketing that I do right now, other than we'll do social media and those things, but I don't spend money on any of that. Everything that we do is word of mouth because word of mouth is what works. Amen? If you learned anything at all, give the Lord a hand clap. Come on, somebody out there. Like I said, pick up my Think Like a Billionaire book. I give you all of the information, step by step, how to do that. Jason's up here now, and we'll do questions about anything in the last 4 weeks. It could be about, oh, wait, I do want to say this. I forgot about this. Sorry, Jason. And don't get angry. You know, you ever done something nice, and then some people get mad at your niceness? And I don't want that to be this. What I want you to do is, if this reward doesn't go to you, how many people know that it's important to celebrate other people that get the reward? Right? That's biblical. Come on. Otherwise, it's envy. So what I want to do after the service is single moms out there with small children living at home, right? I don't want a single mom whose kids are in their 50s. That's not for you. This is for single moms raising kids on your own, right? Right? And you got young children living at home. I'm going to do a scholarship business for you all, and I want to meet you over here. So I want to give you, I want to get you all set up with a business, and we'll talk about it. So if you are a single mom, and this is something that you would like after the service, and once again, if you don't get it, I'm sorry, and don't lead your husband to be part of it either. I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not that big a deal.
It'd be funny, right? Well, I'll be single in a few weeks.
How long does it take? 3 months? I can be single. And the husband's like, honey, I think you should go for it. This is a good deal. This is a good deal. You're not going to pass this up. Anyway, so single moms, small kids at home, I'll meet you over here, and I want to help you start a business. Amen, amen. All right. So questions out there. Yeah, you give the Lord a hand clap. Come on. We're blessed to be a blessing.
I had some that Betsy already texted over to us.
Okay.
Could you run, and I actually don't know the answer. I think I do know the answer to this. Can you run 2 different businesses under one LLC?
Oh yeah, I got a gajillion businesses under one LLC. I got so many. I bought years ago Scot Anderson Enterprises LLC. So that's because I start so many businesses, that's so I try them out. And so everything goes in. So right now, like pickleball is going in there. Wait, what else is going? Oh, I'm doing a Jeep business now where I'm fixing up Jeeps and making them super amazing. So that's going to go in that one. I've got an app that's going into that one. So everything. So once the business gets big, then I'll go, all right, because I am so cheap. I don't want to spend the $350 to start an LLC. And then it's a hassle. I don't know about you, I don't like hassles.
Right.
Right, so if the more LLCs I have, right, at one time, I think I had like 6 LLCs. And doing taxes, I'm exhausted. I'm 100 years old trying to figure out all these things I have to give my taxes. So I keep my LLCs down to a minimum, which actually is funny. I said 6. I think I have 6. But anyway, the other ones are viable businesses that I have that once they cut the muster, if I can say that, then I get their own LLC. So yes, you can run as many businesses as you want through LLCs.
Okay, this one's for Pastor Jason.
Yes.
If you have debt and you're paying off one item at a time, should you start with the small debts and then the large ones, or go from the large to the small? And really, for me, the answer is neither. Go with the highest interest rate one, whichever one's costing you the most money per month, and pay that one off first. If it's small, then great. But if it's large, then also. And then remember, we talked about trying to up your limits on the lower interest credit cards, and then transferring those higher interest rate credit cards. Transfer the debt over to the lower interest rate credit cards if you can.
That's so good. All that information is just incredible information. All right, another question.
How do you get an LLC?
Very good. Now I can get you an accountant who will do it. Like I said, I think it's $350. My accountant is great. If you need an accountant, she's amazing. She's just great. And I've been through 7 accountants, and she's been mine now for 4 years. She's incredible. Or you can just get on. Here's the thing. You can do everything online. Everything online in the world is so simple. Just type in, start an LLC, and I think you can do it. I think it's $75. And you just have to do it yourself. And it doesn't take long. It's not super hard. Once again, it becomes something something that you have to do. And one of the nice things that you can do with the accountant is she'll explain to you the pros and benefits of being an S Corp or being an LLC. I'm an S Corp that performs as an LLC, I think, or maybe an LLC that performs as S Corp. I don't know. Doesn't matter. She knows, and she just does my taxes, and I don't have to worry about it. Go Google it yourself.
Do we want to take some questions?
Yeah.
With hands up in the air. Do we have any of those?
Put a hand up if you have a question.
We have one over here.
Check. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for this. So your chair, I thought that was such a great idea. And you said you found that off of Alibaba?
Yes.
And then do you have to tweak it? You put your own branding on it?
You can't do all that, but once again, I throw a BB in it. So they're like, hey, we can get your own branding on it and the boxes and everything. It was going to be an extra, I think a bucket chair or something, maybe something like that. And I go, oh, why? I can sell them exactly. They come with a cool box. They actually come in a box. It just shows a picture of the chair and everything. And so, yeah, you can get all that kind of stuff. It's a cool chair.
Yeah, it was a good idea. So then where do you intend on selling it? Would you sell like fulfilled by seller on Amazon, Etsy? Like where?
Amazon is one of the greatest small business avenues that I believe. I think I mean, obviously we make Visa money, but I think it has changed business dramatically. I don't know about you, but nearly everything that I buy is on Amazon. So I think it's very important if you have a product to get on Amazon. The problem I have is they won't allow my knives on Amazon, so that's a pain in the rear. But for these, you can get these on Amazon all day long. They're yes. So I believe in getting it. And they've actually 5 years ago it was very easy. Now it's a process. Like to get our pickleball paddles on, I think it took us 6 months, and we're not fully on yet. We've been working on it for 6 months to get on Amazon. There's interviews, but also because we're Nemesis Pickleball, we had to get a trade name, which I've never. Why do I have to get a trade name? Nobody else has never, but it's fine. So I had to get a trade name, and then that takes 3 months to get even the paperwork. So yeah, but start now. Get on Amazon. I think it's very important.
By the way, just a shameless plug, my daughter,
Yes.
Katie, has started a business where
Yes, true
her
story.
specialty is to put your product on Amazon.
Oh,
And she's very good at
Get
it.
that information from Jason. She actually, to be honest with you, she's working for Raven Crest Tactical for us on getting our holsters on Amazon. So she's incredible.
She started working with My Little Mascara, which was a company right out of college that she got involved with, and she got them on Amazon after they said it was impossible, and then she's just branched out from there.
And if she gets my knives on, it's payday for her because it is impossible.
so really, a person can just go on Alibaba, look and see what they think is interesting tonight.
Yes.
And then
Order it tonight.
order.
Well,
a few.
you'll talk to the person. You'll send
Yeah.
them a message. That's how we did the pickleball. Literally, so last year I taught the business class. My kids got excited, said, let's start a business. I said, what do you want to do? They said, what about pickleball paddles? That night, Lakin did all the research, came back. He said, hey, I got this company here. We messages for them. And then he goes, wait, I found this other company. I think this is better. They're a better company. And then we messaged, and I think within the month we had ordered our 50 paddles, had our paddles the next month. And while those paddles were coming, we got our website up. Once again, well, how do I do a web? Anyone can do a web. You sit down,
True.
figure out how to do a web. It literally take you 8 hours probably of a day to do your own web. Go to GoDaddy.
Weebly.com, yeah, GoDaddy.com, Weebly.com, Wix.com. These are all great places where anybody can create a website with click and drag. It's so simple.
And then we started getting on Amazon. I thought we'd be up in a month because that's how it was the last time. But yeah, we're still battling that battle.
Yeah, they even have online stores you can put in there on the websites as
Yeah.
you're building it. It's super simple.
If it took some time to get on Amazon, what other avenue would you try to sell?
Your web, right? That's how Raven Crest does all their stuff on the web.
Okay,
So if you have
so
a
it's a
product, you
website.
create a website. And nowadays, once again, everything is geared for small business. I mean, it's geared. 30 years ago, you had to have a Sears catalog to sell anything, really, or go down to the swap meet. That's the only places you had. But now, you can go on Facebook, you can buy a Facebook ad. We sold a lot of paddles. Literally, Heath would do a $20 ad, and we would sell 5 paddles off a $20 Facebook ad. Because you can pick out, hey, I want people that are interested in pickleball within this age group. I want them to have this eye color, and they have 3 cats at home. Like, you can pick out so much stuff and be able to really, right? It wasn't like 30 years ago where you just blanketly said, all right, let's put an ad in GQ magazine and see how it does. No, you can advertise very smart.
And social media advertising allows you to link right to your website. You don't have to link to your Amazon account. So as long as people saw it and are interested in it, there's a good chance they're going to get to your website and buy it.
Can I give you a bonus thing also? Make sure that you set it up in a way that you can take Apple Pay. When you advertise to me on Facebook, I don't know anybody else in there. I don't like homework anymore. Amazon has treated me so well. So I'll click, I'm like, oh, I want to buy this. There's some Adidas shoes that popped up. I'm like, oh, I want those. And then I went, oh, there's no Apple Pay. Well, I'm not a butler. I'm not going to put it in my credit card. I don't have an hour and a half to do that, so I just didn't buy them. But the ones where I go to and they go, I'll take Apple Pie, I go, thank you very much.
Go ahead.
Yes, where?
How did you guys come up with how did you search, or how did you get the ideas of what to sell, or what?
As far as the pickleball paddles?
The paddles or the chair?
I think the paddles, we were just interested in pickleball. I also looked at the fact that the fastest growing sport in the United States for the last 3 years is pickleball. I mean, it is, if you know, it's become huge. So I said, hey, let's get in this wave as early as we can. and away we go. But then the chairs just fell on our laps. Lakin's like, saw one. He's like, this is what I do also. He's like, Dad, I saw one of these cool chairs, and they found it on Alibaba. He's like, hey, what have we got? I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah, sounds cool. Those are actually goes with pickleball a little bit too. I don't know. And then this thing right here is another thing that I got is my getter, and it came off of a weird idea that I have a Gladiator truck. It's got the back on it, and one day a cantaloupe rolled in the back that I got. No, it's cabbage, and I couldn't get it out. One, my arms, I have T-Rex arms, so you have to unfold right and climb in the bed. But one day I was throwing trash away, and I had built Holly this thing, and I had this curtain rod piece of wood on it, and I drilled a nail in it in a weird way, right? And so I was emptying and throwing all the stuff away, and there's stuff in the back, and I grabbed that pole, and I went, oh, that was cool. Oh my God, I helped him. And so I kept him for 6 months. I kept that. It was the most useful thing I've ever had in my life in the truck. And then I went, you know what? What if I made one? So I went to Alibaba, searched, and then I found one that has my little grabber. And so now this is for anybody that has a truck. If you have a truck, you'll know how to use, and I use them all the time. I'll be in the garage, because on the stage you can't tell, but I'm not very tall. And so this is like a very useful tool for me. Go ahead. Another question.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Betsy. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
What would be the long-term goal that you have then for both of these businesses if you're looking to expand them in the future?
Long-term goal that I have in my mind, I always have multiple goals. I'm always wanting to be the best. I want to be the biggest. I want to have my own knife factory where I don't have to go to China. It is big in the knife world to be American-made. People still buy mine because we're kind of in between Kia and Jeep, right? Rather than going with Microtech, who's the same one, but their knives are about 3 times more than mine. But they are American-made, and it's funny that a lot of my clients, they want American-made. And so that is like a big goal, to have my own CNC shop, to be able to do all my own knives and stuff, and I just want to grow. I want every year to be bigger. We just added a truck on, so I have a mobile store this year. So every year I do more. So we added another store last year. This year I have a mobile truck, so we drive knives to you. That seems to be working out very well. Be neat to have to franchise this possibly. But I'm always open to somebody coming in, one day and saying, hey, these many millions, and I have a number in my head, and say, hey, we want this. And now, would I take that money, and what would I do with it? Buy another business. That's what I would do with it, right? Why can't I think of his name? The guy richest guy in the world with the electric cars. Elon Musk, right? I think he sold PayPal like for $100 million. Most people would be like, done, see you later, Cancun. What did he do? He took his money and he built up another business. That's what he did, right? And that's how you get to those levels. So that's kind of my goal with that. Pickleball paddles is something I'm doing with my kids. I love doing business with them. It can grow. It can be very big. We would love to have our own, same thing. Goal would be is pickleball paddles are easier than knives to get a plant and be able to make our own pickleball paddles here. Move on. We want to add bags. We tried balls, and once again we threw a BB at it. Thank the Lord. We got 500 of these little pickleballs, right? And I took it to a coach, and I'm like, hey, we sponsor your tournament, and she went, oh, we would never play with these. And I went, why? And she went, boop. And then I went, oh, okay, yeah, those are horrible balls. Like. It's so funny because we're playing pickleball, like anytime we're playing, and one of our cheap balls get in, the kid's like, oh my God, we can't play with that. Get that out of here. I'm like, those are our balls. Why are we so mean to our balls?
I have some questions here. Some texted questions. I started a business, however, I'm a single mom, and I don't get support, so I have to live off what I make.
Sure.
Would you say I should also get a part-time job? I make great income, but I have 6 children, so it goes as soon as it comes.
Right.
Ideas, question mark.
So that's kind of, and here's the thing that I would do, is it sounds like you are very good at business. If you could live off your business, keep expanding it, and yes, you do have to live on it. You're a farmer, you have to live off you have a garden. So if you think about the farmer, you have a garden, your family's living off of the garden, so what do? To me, that's my job right now. Well, either expand this one, and then don't raise the level of your living. Does that make sense? So let's say your business is making $50,000 a year. I don't know how much you make. Let's say it's $50,000, and you find a way, right, to expand it so that now you're making $60,000 a year. Don't raise your living, but take the $10,000 and do what I said today, and that $10,000, everything you make over 50 now goes back into growing the business so the business can get bigger. Or your other option is keep doing that and start another business. So this is my job, and then this is my other business to give me extra income that I can grow. Like I say, I'm growing a number of businesses right now. I think I'm growing 7 businesses. And that's fine. When you get a system down, it becomes easy. It's not hard to do.
Should you put money aside for chargebacks, or does payment processors take care of the fees? And I'm not sure.
No, you pay all
the context of that.
Chargebacks are the devil. It's Satan. That's all it is. Every time I see one, I'm like, because people are people. Most people are good people. There's 95% of the people in the world today are good people that care. There's those 5%ers, and they'll get their knife, and they'll go, we didn't get it. And I'm like, you're a liar. And then you get a chargeback on it. And then I go, hey, they got their knife. We've got proof they got their knife, right? Because we would take pictures. We'd do everything we could. And they go, we're still going to give them their money back. I go, well, thank you very much. I'm glad that my money is so easy for MasterCard to give back. They love to give my money away. And the same thing, like, it doesn't matter. FedEx, right, will ship it to somebody, and then the package is gone, and the customer goes, I didn't get it. And then we go, hey, FedEx, I didn't get it. And the FedEx goes, sucks to be you. And so, good for me. So then I have an option. Do I just tell the customer, tough luck? I'm not built that way, because that's not good business. I just go, all right, we'll send you another knife. There you go, here, be blessed.
How do you find a company on Alibaba.com that ships directly into the U.S. with no port or customs issues?
Sounds like most of the ones that I deal with. Pickleball paddles. I'm telling you. They now, 5 years ago, yes, it was a trouble. I do have my shipper that does my knives, if you ever need a shipper because you can't get it in. I have an incredible shipper. Jenny Focal is incredible. But now, like the pickleball paddles and the seats and these, they have it all set up. You just order it. They take care of everything. It literally comes to my doorstep. So Alibaba has evolved in the last 5 years and has made it very simple and very easy.
Any hands? Let's do some hands.
I think we got time for 2 more. I think we're at 7:37.
This is a 2-part question. For young kids or children, is it best to involve them in your business to get them involved in growing the business, or is it good to keep them separate?
I love anytime you can grow your kids.
Yeah, get them involved. I mean, family. Yeah, you get time together for sure if they want to be involved, or even if they don't, get them involved.
I ask all my kids, there's a time like, build knives. Yeah. What's family night tonight? We're building knives tonight.
Yeah, for
Enjoy.
sure.
It's going to be a fun night. There you go. Yeah, we're playing, not Monopoly, we're playing Scotopoly. It's a really fun game. You're going to enjoy it tonight, guys. So yeah, and now that they're at the age.
That's why you have children, isn't it?
Free
labor.
Yeah, I don't have to. I haven't cleaned dishes in 27 years. All right, one more question. Or did you have 2 parts? That was 1 part. I answered all the parts. All right. One more question. Unless somebody really has another question. I'll do another question.
Hello, Pastor.
Hey.
I have clients that interested in my product. I explain it to them. They get really excited. It's a problem solver to them. I give them the quote. I give them a reasonable quote because, I'm an honest guy, integrity. Mm-hmm. And they'll say they either got to think about it or they just crickets. I don't know how to close. Like, I can't figure out what I'm not doing right.
Go ahead.
The product is Smart Film. It's if you don't like blinds or curtains, all you gotta do is hit a switch and it fogs up.
Oh,
I
really?
installed that.
Yeah, on your window, it fogs your window up?
Fogs your window up. So I went to to this person, and they live in the nice up in the mountains and like towards Scottsdale. And they got this beautiful home with all these windows. Gave him an estimate. I gave him I gave it at my cost because I got to get my foot wet, get a project. Yeah. And I don't think it was a bad deal. They didn't want all they windows, just no curtain, no blinds. It's just anyone can see in there. People in the mountain that hiking, they can look in. I was seeing people in the back of their home.
Maybe you should just go outside their house at night. For like a month, like
With a
1 month,
flashlight.
with some
They call 'em,
binoculars.
maybe you want that window after all. Huh?
Yeah.
And they have
Weird.
me for the. I'm like, how can Lord give me the best? I want to get the best price. I don't want to be too high.
I think you ask a good question. It's kind of that age-long question of all sales. Is like, how do you close the deal? And
How you close the deal?
I
Like
would just
it's
say, there's some great books out there that can really help you sharpen your skills as a salesperson. Zig Ziglar is one of the best
Yes.
deal
He actually has
closers
one.
there is.
It says how to close a deal. That's his book, right?
Yeah, and The Art of the Deal isn't that Donald Trump? I think
Yeah.
or something. There's
Yeah.
a lot of deal closing books
By the
out there in
key,
sales books, but Zig Ziglar I think is one of the best all time.
Sometimes it's just some more wisdom, but sometimes it's outside of our wheelhouse. Know that you've all met people that are great salespeople and people that are not great salespeople.
Bring
right?
up a good thing. Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
It's just their gift. It's their wheelhouse. I couldn't go out and do sales. I can preach, but I can't sell. I had a business where I did try out to go out and sell something, and it didn't turn out well because I'm not a great salesperson. But then I got somebody that was a great salesperson, and it changed everything. So you may need to look at a commission type thing of getting a salesperson, unless you feel like you are a great salesperson. Then just craft your trade, look at how it can tweak it. The other thing you may have to do is look at, so if everybody is saying no, then I have to look at the product and the cost of the product. I have to look at that and find a ways in which that I can cut my costs, or if I was selling knives and nobody was buying my knives because I was selling them for $500, and I'm like, well, my costs are $500, then it may not be the right product for me because it's not selling. Does that make sense? So these are all the things you're going to have to look at. So first, look at, is it worth the money, I think, and people think? Do I just need to get a better salesperson? Do I need to become a better salesperson? Or do I need to find a way to make it cheaper so that I can offer it? But it does sound like a Ferrari type product. It sounds like you're not, you're looking for different level homes probably to be marketing to. And then also look at your marketing. But you have to remember that anytime that you're selling, I think it's like 100 to get one sale. So how many houses have you gone to? How many people have you talked to? So that's another thing, is don't give up. If you think it's great and you believe in it, you may just need to go to 99 more places to get the sale.
I think that, and I wouldn't say this applies to you, but I think it kind of poses this broader question that I think should be addressed. Is like, if you put your heart and soul into a product and a business, and you get to the place where it's not selling, and how hard is it for you to walk away something you've put everything into and decide to go to another product? How hard is it to face the idea that, okay, this isn't selling and there's nothing I can do different?
It's become easy for me.
But talk to me about the first time you had to walk away.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but it gets easier.
It's like
it gets easier. You're like whatever. Okay, I'll do another one. Because you understand that every good idea has seasons, and sometimes great ideas, the season you're in, it doesn't work, right? It doesn't, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work. I don't know what to tell you. I see products that sell the stupid steps that allow your dogs to get on your bed. I go, how does that sell? Who wants their dog on the bed? I want something that kicks them off the bed. For some reason, they became multi-million-dollar putting their dogs up on the bed, right? And then I've had ideas that were crazy good that just couldn't get it to sell, couldn't get it to go. And that's something that you have to learn. I think it comes over time. But yes, it is hard in the beginning. But now, like I said, I start something, and I'm doing a new Jeep thing. I always go into business giving everything that I have, but realizing that there is a possibility that I'm going to learn from it, and it's not going to become a financial thing. So I go into it with what I call proper expectations. This Jeep thing could be great, could be awesome, could be amazing. Then again, it may not do well. And either option is going to be fine. I'll start something else. If it works out, great. My goal is to have a dealership. I want to own a dealership. That's my next goal, is to sell just Gladiator Jeeps. So that's the goal. The sexiest Jeeps that you'll find is the goal. And you're going to see my Jeep in 2 weeks, and you're going to be like, that's the sexiest Jeep I've ever seen. So that's my BB. I'm simply fixing up my Jeep and seeing if I can sell it for what I think I can sell it for, if I can get what I think I can sell it for. So it's a BB. One, I get to drive a sexy Jeep for a while. And two, I can see if I can make money on the Jeeps in doing that. Rather than going out and buying 3 Jeeps and putting all this money into it, I was like, I'll just make my Jeep sexy and see how it goes. So anyway, I'm going into it wanting it to be successful, but realizing I may have to walk away from it, and I'm okay with that.
I would say like that you're not attaching your value to success or failure.
That's why I love my brother.
Key.
He's so good.
I think that's key, right?
That's why our wake-up show is so
your
good.
value is not attached to whether the Jeep thing fails or succeeds. But I think what happens to the rest of all of us is that we attach our value to that success or that failure. And then if it fails, then we don't want to try again. And I think that you're really freeing people tonight to fail and then try again.
I failed more than most everybody in this room, times 5. Like I said, in the book, I literally go through 25 businesses, and you get to read what mistakes I made, and you're like, oh my gosh, what a moron. I don't know if I can say moron still, but you're like, oh my gosh. And I make the same, as I was writing the book, I go, and then I made the same mistake here. And I made the same mistake here. What am I doing? Right? But I was growing and I was learning, and Jason hit it on the head. Is just every successful person detaches from who I am and what happens in my life. It's different. Yes, I failed, but I'm not a failure. The only thing that makes me a failure, is if I stop trying. That's a failure. It's not a failure if you keep going. I had 20, so you're out there, you know, I'm a very successful person. But if you just judge me on my 20 failed businesses, you're like, what a failure. No, not at all. Because I kept trying, and I kept trying, and I kept trying. That's what made me success. You'll never find, and you know this is a big quote, you'll never find a highly successful person that doesn't have more failures than the average person. We're just not attached, as Jason says. Your business out there, mathematically, 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Just the way it is. You just have to go into it going, I'm going to have to start 10 businesses. That's the math. Just the math behind it. I'm not that good. I think it took me 15 businesses to get a successful one. That's okay. I'm a little behind you all, but it didn't matter. I went into it knowing I just have to keep starting businesses, learn and grow, learn and grow, learn and grow, and finally, if I throw enough darts at the dartboard, I'll hit a bullseye. Amen?
Amen. Well, Lord, I just thank you and praise you for tonight. I pray over every single person here, Lord, as seed has fallen upon good soil of hearts. And I thank you, Lord, that your Holy Spirit will be our leader, our director, that you will guide our steps as you have promised. As we venture off into new things and trying new things, Holy Spirit, guide us. Give us the right steps to take. Give us wisdom. Give us that advantage, and let the favor of God and the blessing of God cause success and prosperity to everything we touch in Jesus' name. Amen?
Amen, amen.
All right, leaders, if you'd stand up on your feet real quick. Leaders are standing up. That's your groups. And as soon as you see your leader, if you're ready, and go to your group.